Okay, I tried to speed this up, but this drawing still took me around 8 hours. I don't usually record myself drawing something like this traditionally, or well, I did something similar. I did this during art fight. I also spent around 8 hours on a piece, but that was digital. This one, Malenia piece, the file was like 62 gigabytes. I'm not even joking. Let me know if you like this kind of video. I managed to squish it into around 80 minutes long, so I'll try to talk through that, what I'm doing, and so it won't be just, you staring at me drawing. I started with watercolor. I'm using some really old Van Gogh paints. I went straight into the face. I didn't really think about composition that much. I mostly wanted to focus on Malenia's hair because I'm obsessed with characters who have crimson hair because I have crimson hair myself, so yeah. I also wanted to test this chromatographic sheen ink I got. I'll show you later. I wanted to draw Elden Ring characters for a long time, but I kept hesitating. When something feels kind of important to me, I tend to overthink it, like how I should draw it, or if I should draw it at all. It starts feeling personal, like I'll fail myself if I don't do it right, etc., etc. So I'm always hesitating when I think about drawing something important for me. So I would say this chromatographic sheen ink was my true inspiration and the push I need. Composition, I would say, ended up a little bit left heavy. Originally I thought it would be just one page, but then it turned into a 2-page spread because I had another idea and I wanted to test, and not just the ink but also different materials.
You know what? Right now I'm actually thinking that Malenia and her hair could look really cool as a profile header. I've been wanting to change it for a long time, so maybe I'll use this piece for that.
Here I'm slowly building up the hair. I didn't fully finish the face or the body at this stage. I left it so I could adjust things later. Everything felt too white and I knew I need to add a background. So the color of this ink called Love Potion. I thought it would be more crimson, and it kind of looks like it under a warm lining, but under cooler light it turns more pink, I would say. Still, I really like it because when it dries it gives this golden shimmer, which I think suits Malenia really well. For the second idea, I used dried flowers that I preserved myself when I was like really young, a small little Lana. Here I'm trying to make a butterfly out of old rose petals. I probably preserved them wrong. They look kind of bad in real life, but I'm actually glad I kept them because they ended up fitting the vibe perfectly. Malenia's butterfly to me looks exactly like that, like something fragile and a bit ruined. I added some wear and tear with a scalpel and refined things with acrylic. At some point, I started thinking that Malenia probably smells like wilting roses. Actually, I'm thinking that it's Malenia and vampires. I've been trying to find a perfume like that smell like wilting roses because I'm obsessed with vampires and with that distinct smell, but everything smells like fresh roses and not dying ones, unfortunately. If you know some kind of perfume that smells like wilting roses, please tell me. For the scarlet rod on her face, I thought about using roses again, but then I found some apple blossoms I preserved as well. They are thinner and smaller, so so they worked even better. I think it fits, even though her design changes a bit depending on the reference. I just decided to go with this particular reference. At one point, I had this moment where I thought, wow, nobody has ever done something like this before. I'm such a genius. Oh. Then I'm like, okay, Lana, calm down. People use like textures in digital art all the time. Like I saw some people using meat texture to draw some waves and sea. So this is basically the same idea, just in traditional media. I'm definitely not the first person to think of it, but I had my moment. Okay, I was like, yeah, I'm such a bright person.
Also, I want to warn you about this ink. It stains really badly. Like, it stained my favorite brush so much I thought I would never get it clean again. It just kept bleeding out of the bristles. I don't know why it happened, but the Love Potion ink, the Twilight one, doesn't stain nearly as much.
Right now, I'm painting Christmas roses and calla lilies. These flowers actually appear in her boss arena, and crimson roses have this like story, like they supposedly grew from the tears of a girl who had no gift for the Christ child. So some people connect that to Mikula. So there's this idea that they could represent Malenia's tears, these Christmas roses. Um, I'm also using another chromatographic ink here. Maybe we should start counting how many different mediums I'm using for this art, because I am not a shy person when it comes to trying different mediums in one art. I also, even though this chromatographic ink here, it also, the name is Twilight, you know. Ha ha ha. I like it even more than the Love Potion because it behaves quite differently. It splits into multiple colors that remind me about Raylene Coyote. I hope I pronounced the nickname right. So it's actually a red, green, and black colors. I like it even more than just pure pink and golden colors. It's also stains the paper, which is interesting. I definitely use it again because I have some ideas for it. Anyway, now that things are more settled, I'm refining details and finally darkening the areas that I need more contrast.
For a long time, I didn't like drawing metal, but recently I've been doing it a lot in different ways. I think over the past year I painted around 15 different metal details, so I'm definitely getting better at it. By the way, one of the things I really like about Malenia's design is that her rod kind of acts like a form of censorship. It lets you look at her body without it feeling sexual, even though some people still try to sexualize her as much as possible. I don't really get that, honestly. To me, Malenia feels like this kind of wild feminine power, and I try to keep her original body shape as close as possible.
I added more rod on her body and especially around the shoulder.
And I'm also covering parts of her here just in case, because you never really know how algorithms will react. I've had videos taken down on TikTok before, even when there was nothing wrong with them. Like I had my previous PNG tuber model and it had a small cleavage, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it looked suggestive or big to start with, but TikTok was flagging it badly, so I had to redo my old model and add a lace. So, and I don't want to risk the same thing happening on YouTube. Even though, honestly, there's nothing explicit here at all. I don't see her design as something that needs to be hidden or anything. I just want to treat her with as much respect as possible. I also really like when artists make her even more muscular and more powerful, as long, as long as it's not sexualized, but instead focused on her strength, her femininity, and her beauty. I'm absolutely here for it. Oh my god, you guys, I'm editing this video right now and I'm looking at it and it's still kind of empty, unfortunately. I didn't realize I need to talk for this long. And also, I didn't expect it to be this hard. Again, a very smart of me, right? I think this is my first video with such a long footage for YouTube, but I'm learning, and yeah, I still don't want to just leave you alone with the music. I actually thought about it like, hey guys, I don't know what to talk about, just listen to the music. But then this month I'm challenging myself, okay? So I'll keep talking.
I'm also using masking liquid to create small pollen details on the flowers. And when I'm finally done with the flowers, I added a bit of yellow just to balance the gold in her armor and hair.
Also, I noticed that the microphone on my phone still sounds better than the one I use on my computer. And the one on my computer, it has a phantom power. It has filters. It's not a cheap one. But I don't know, maybe my hands just grow from my ass. I genuinely don't understand how my phone sounds better than a dedicated mic, so sorry that you're getting two different audio qualities here. I originally bought that mic because recording on my phone felt inconvenient, but now I'm honestly considering going back to it. I like my voice way more here, and I really don't like how it sounds on the other mic, unfortunately. I've also been thinking about drawing Messmer. He probably is my second favorite character from Elden Ring. Right, yeah, definitely he is. And he also has a crimson hair, so I definitely use the same chromatographic ink I use for Malenia. And I'm wondering if there are more characters with crimson hair that I just don't know about yet. It feels like a rare thing in the fiction, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I actually, dyed my hair because of the character from yaoi manga. At first, I really liked him. He had this confident Egyptian god energy, but then he lost his powers. Somebody took them from him, and everything got really dark in the manga. Like everyone started taking advantage of him, and it was so hard to read. Yeah, I wanted to associate myself with the version of him from the beginning, the powerful one, confident one, but the more I kept reading, the more I was like, yeah, maybe not anymore. I don't like him. I guess I just didn't like where the author took the character. Yeah.
I got the idea how to make butterflies. I tasted the black ink I used earlier, and because it's very reactive, even if you put acrylic on top of it, it still shows through. It's like bleeding through. So I just went with it and I started freestyling butterflies in her hair. This part actually took the longest, but it was still faster than I expected. Normally, I spend like 20 hours on a piece like this digitally, but with traditional art, you don't have the option to, endlessly redo things or zoom in forever on tiny details nobody noticed. So it ended up being faster and honestly more satisfying in a way. The butterflies part was a bit repetitive, so I didn't record every single layer at the end. A lot of white acrylic layering in the end, just over and over, so until I was satisfied. So I'll just show you slowly the final result. with all the details. I'm really proud of this piece actually. It looks cool, right? I still can't believe I can make something like this. And also I was kinda scared. Right now I'm focusing more on digital and I was thinking that maybe I'll forget how to draw traditionally. That was not the case, luckily. So I'll just remind you to leave a like, subscribe, and tell me if you like speed paints like this, because it was a hassle for me to record something like that. But if there will be someone who likes that enough, this will be a great encouragement for me to keep doing this stuff, even though it's a hassle. Thank you, and bye bye.